Assalamu Alaikum and welcome to our channel. Today, we're embarking on a deeply significant and moving journey into one of the most pivotal events in Islamic history, the sacrifice of Karbala and Imam Hussein's unwavering stand for justice. This isn't just a story from the past, it's a timeless lesson that resonates with profound meaning for us all. Before we delve into this powerful narrative, we'd love for you to be a part of our community. Please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share it with others who might benefit from this powerful narrative. And tell us, where are you watching from today? Your engagement truly helps us bring more meaningful content to you. Indeed, Allah chose Adam and Nuh, and the family of Ibrahim, and the family of Imran over the worlds. Descendants, some of them from others, and Allah is hearing and knowing. Surah Al-Imran. From the very dawn of creation, has there not been a lineage chosen, blessed, and destined for greatness? How does one reconcile immense divine favor with the ultimate test of sacrifice? What hidden trials lie in wait for those born into a legacy of prophecy and pure devotion? In an age not so long past, within the sacred sands of Arabia, arose a lineage unparalleled, touched by divine grace. This was the family of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the seal of the prophets. After his passing, the mantle of leadership, both spiritual and temporal, fell to his inheritors, guardians of a faith that had transformed the desert and ignited the hearts of millions. At the heart of this luminous family was Imam Hussain ibn Ali, the beloved grandson of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Born into a home radiating with prophetic light, Hussain was a direct descendant of the Prophet through his cherished daughter Fatima Radziana and his valiant son-in-law Ali ibn Abi Talib Radziana. He was, along with his elder brother Hassan Radziana, one of the masters of the youth of paradise, as lovingly described by the Prophet himself. Their childhood was spent in the Prophet's embrace, absorbing his wisdom, witnessing his character, and breathing in the very essence of Islam.
The early Muslim community, under the guidance of the rightly guided caliphs who followed the Prophet, flourished. It was an era marked by a fervent dedication to justice, humility, and the simple, profound truths of the Quran. The nascent Islamic State, though expanding rapidly, strove to embody the principles of equality and compassion that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had tirelessly preached. The people, fresh from the darkness of idolatry, embraced Islam with a zeal that propelled them forward, building a society founded on divine law and mutual respect. This was their initial state of grace, a period of unity and unprecedented blessings bestowed by Allah. Imam Hussain grew up in this blessed environment, witnessing firsthand the implementation of Islamic ideals. He was a beacon of piety, known for his profound knowledge, his unwavering integrity, and his deep spiritual connection to Allah. His life was a living testament to the teachings of his grandfather, a model of humility and courage. The people loved him, recognizing in him the purity of the prophetic household. His presence was a comfort, a reminder of the Prophet's living legacy. But little did they know that the shadows of worldly ambition were beginning to creep across the horizon, threatening to eclipse the very light they held so dear. The seeds of discord, sown by those who coveted power over piety, would soon begin to sprout, challenging the core tenets of their faith and testing the resolve of its most devout guardians. A storm was brewing, one that would force the inheritors of prophecy to make the ultimate choice: a choice that would echo through the annals of history and forever define the essence of true submission. The peaceful dawn that had long illuminated the nascent Islamic society began to wane, replaced by the encroaching shadows of political ambition and worldly desires. The unity fostered by the Prophet, peace be upon him, and preserved by the righteous caliphs who followed him, started to fray at the edges. The generation that had witnessed the Prophet's blessed presence began to diminish, and with it, a certain purity of intent seemed to erode.
Divine guidance, however, never ceased. Allah's warnings manifested not in thunder and lightning, but in the subtle shift of the political landscape, in the whispers of discontent that grew into a roar, and, most profoundly, in the unwavering voices of those who upheld the Prophet's true message. Imam Hussain, A.S., along with other esteemed companions and family members of the Prophet, embodied this divine guidance. Their very lives were a testament to the principles being abandoned. The core message of Imam Hussain was a call back to the foundational values of Islam: justice, truth, piety, and the rejection of oppression. He spoke against the creeping corruption and the gradual erosion of the Prophet's sunnah. His teachings were not new, but were a vibrant reaffirmation of what had been taught before. He warned against the dangers of a leadership that valued personal gain over spiritual integrity and worldly power over divine command. When you see an oppressive ruler legalizing forbidden things, breaking the covenant of Allah, opposing the sunnah of the Prophet, and governing unjustly, then it is incumbent upon every free man to rise against him, was the essence of his powerful call, a message echoing the very spirit of the Quran. Yet the people's reaction, or rather the reaction of a powerful faction within the burgeoning Islamic empire, was one of escalating arrogance and blatant defiance. With the passing of Muawiyah, Yazid ascended to the caliphate, a man notorious for his open disregard for Islamic principles. He was known for his indulgences, his public sins, and his tyrannical rule. His demand for allegiance from Imam Hussain was a stark challenge to the legitimacy of Islamic leadership. The rebellion against divine guidance was multifaceted. Political usurpation, Yazid's claim to leadership was based on dynastic succession rather than consultation and piety, a clear deviation from the precedent set by the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the early caliphs.
Open disregard for Sharia. Yazid's lifestyle and governance showed a profound disrespect for Islamic law, normalizing acts that were clearly forbidden. Arrogance and mockery. Those aligned with Yazid dismissed Imam Hussein's warnings, often with mockery and disdain. They saw him as an obstacle to their power, rather than a spiritual guide. Their arguments were rooted in worldly pragmatism and the desire to maintain control, rather than adherence to truth. They claimed that the stability of the empire required submission to the current ruler, regardless of his piety, ignoring the fundamental Islamic injunction against obeying a ruler in sin. The Quran speaks powerfully against those who deny truth and rebel against divine guidance, and when it is said to them, "Do not cause corruption on the earth," they say, "We are only reformers." Unquestionably, they are the corruptors, but they perceive it not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:11-2. This verse encapsulates the mindset of those who, in their pursuit of power, believe themselves to be maintaining order, even as they sowed the seeds of corruption. Scholars explain that this defiance stemmed from a spiritual illness, the love of dunya, worldly life, over the akhirah, afterlife. Imam Hussein's call threatened their comfort and their illicit gains. The Sahih Muslim, Book 33, Hadith 69-65, narrates the Prophet saying, "There will be rulers after me who will not be guided by my guidance and will not adopt my sunnah. There will be among them men whose hearts will be the hearts of devils in the bodies of human beings."
This hadith serves as a stark premonition of the kind of leadership that emerged, validating Imam Hussein's principled stand. Dramatic tension escalated. Letters poured into Imam Hussain from the people of Kufa, pledging their allegiance and begging him to come and lead them against the tyrannical rule. He dispatched his cousin, Muslim ibn Aqil, to ascertain their sincerity. Muslim initially found overwhelming support, but the tides turned swiftly under threats and coercion from Yazid's appointed governor, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Why did they perish? Or more accurately, why did their spiritual standing perish in the eyes of Allah and true believers? The fundamental cause of their destruction was their arrogance, their utter rejection of truth for worldly power, their disregard for divine law, and their willingness to commit the most heinous oppression against the purest of souls. The final turning point was their explicit choice to wage war against Imam Hussain, to deny him water, and ultimately to shed the sacred blood of the Prophet's grandson. This definitive act of rejection sealed their fate in history and in the divine reckoning. Centuries passed, but the lesson remained etched in the collective consciousness of the Muslim world. The tragedy of Karbala stands as an eternal testament to the consequences of abandoning divine principles for worldly ambitions. It serves as a stark reminder that true power lies not in worldly dominion, but in unwavering submission to Allah and standing for justice, even at the cost of one's life. The legacy of Karbala is one of profound sorrow, but also one of immense inspiration for all who strive for truth in the face of falsehood, and who recognize that ultimate victory belongs not to the oppressor, but to the patient and righteous. It emphasizes Allah's absolute justice, His mercy for the obedient who seek to uphold His commands, and the inevitable, painful outcome of defiance. The echoes of Karbala's sacrifice resonate even today, transcending time and geography. While the immediate events transpired in the heart of the Islamic Empire, the lessons etched in blood and tears are universal, a profound testament to the eternal struggle between truth and falsehood. This historical tragedy is not merely a tale of the past, but a vibrant living sermon that continues to inspire and caution believers across generations. The story of Karbala connects profoundly to the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, not just through the lineage of Imam Hussain, but through the Prophet's own foresight and warnings. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had on numerous occasions spoken of his love for Hussain and the trials his household would face. It is authentically narrated that the Prophet, peace be upon him, was informed of Hussein's martyrdom before it occurred, indicating its immense significance in the divine plan and for the future of the Muslim community. For example, Tirmidhi, Hadith 3777, and Musnad Ahmad, Volume 1, Hadith 649, narrate from Salama radiallahu anha that Jibril alayhi salam informed the Prophet, peace be upon him, about the martyrdom of Hussain at the place called Karbala, and brought him some soil from that land. This foreknowledge served to comfort the Prophet, peace be upon him, in his love for his grandson, and also to subtly warn his people of the grave tribulations that would befall his lineage, challenging their commitment to his teachings. The legacy of this nation, or more specifically, the legacy of the sacrifice made against the deviation of that time, is profoundly embedded in Islamic teachings. Karbala is cited as the ultimate example of sacrificing everything for the sake of Allah's religion, of refusing to compromise on principles, and of standing firm against injustice. It highlights the stark difference between true spiritual leadership, Imam Hussain, and corrupt worldly power, Yazid. The Quran continually emphasizes the importance of justice and warns against oppression, and Karbala serves as the most vivid illustration of these principles. Consider the ayah, "O you who have believed, be persistently just, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not inclination, lest you deviate. And if you distort or refuse to give it, then indeed, Allah is ever, with what you do, acquainted." Surah An-Nisa 4:135. Imam Hussein's stand was the ultimate embodiment of this verse, as he stood for justice against overwhelming odds, even when it meant sacrificing his own family. So, what can modern Muslims learn from this story? The primacy of justice. Karbala is a powerful reminder that justice is not merely a legal concept, but a spiritual imperative. It teaches us to speak truth to power, to stand against oppression, and to never normalize injustice, even if it comes from within our own communities. Serious the danger of worldly desire. The tragedy was fueled by the love of dunya, worldly life, and the pursuit of power, comfort, and status. Modern Muslims face similar temptations: materialism, corruption, and the erosion of values for personal gain. Karbala urges us to prioritize our akhirah over our dunya. Courage and resilience. Imam Hussein's unwavering resolve in the face of certain death teaches profound lessons in courage, perseverance, and reliance on Allah. It reminds us that true strength lies in faith and conviction, not in numbers or worldly might. Serious the importance of leadership. The story underscores the critical need for righteous, God-fearing leadership that upholds Islamic principles and the dangers of tyrannical rule. It compels us to be vigilant and hold our leaders accountable. Reflective unity and avoiding division. While Karbala highlights a tragic division, its ultimate lesson for modern Muslims is the need for unity, rooted in truth and justice. The fragmentation that led to the tragedy serves as a warning against internal discord driven by ego and worldly ambition.
Sahih Muslim, Book 44, Hadith 7098, records the Prophet (peace be upon him) saying, "My nation is like rain. You do not know whether its beginning is better or its end." This hadith encourages us to always strive for improvement and not to become complacent. However, the Prophet also warned against the trials that would befall the Ummah. The story of Karbala serves as a powerful illustration of these trials and how to navigate them with faith and integrity. The profound lessons of Karbala are echoed in scholarly opinions and tafsir that emphasize the eternal relevance of such stories. They are not mere historical accounts, but divine blueprints for navigating life's moral complexities. As Sheikh Hamza Yusuf states, Karbala is a perennial lesson that good will always be tested, and one must choose to stand with truth, no matter the cost. In conclusion, the sacrifice of Karbala is far more than a historical tragedy. It is a spiritual compass for humanity. It teaches us that true victory is not always found on the battlefield, but in the unwavering commitment to righteousness, even in the face of ultimate loss. It reminds us that Allah's justice is absolute, His love for the pure is eternal, and the legacy of those who stand for truth will forever illuminate the path for generations to come. May we all strive to embody the spirit of Imam Hussein's stand for justice in our own lives, ensuring that the echoes of Karbala guide us toward a path of unwavering faith and principled action.